Four men in the Newcastle wall. Pearson walking across the front of it, joining on the end. Rolled for Dobson. Deliberately struck on a good shot. The goalkeeper won't be too pleased about that. He had his hands there, and the ball spun out of them for the corner. The corner is not important, but that sign of mishandling, not good for a goalkeeper in the first 3 minutes of a game. Jones with the corner. Goalkeeper has stayed on his line, and Lyons, and that hit the goalkeeper, and Maxwell has got it in. Mike Mahoney in absolute dejection on his line, and he really must blame himself a bit for that. Jones swung the corner over. Mahoney had stayed on his line, so Lyons had a free header. The first attempt by Latchford just bounced off the goalkeeper, and Latchford got it in at the second attempt. Pearson beaten by Howard, played on by Craig. Sargent turns it for Kenya. Buckley. Latchford. Pearson. Lyons making a break. Number 6, good burst here. Chance for him. Deflection. Over the top. No, it's in. It's number 2. And Nick Lyons will get the credit for that. And he will deserve it. Mahoney beaten again, but that time not to be blamed. The through ball, or the square ball in fact, played just at the right time as Lyons began his burst. He got through the tackle, saw the chance, and when he let go the shot, the deflection left Mahoney absolutely without hope. No pressure on the defenders, but it's just put out to Pearson. Dobson couldn't get himself in for a shot, but now Smallman gets to go with the left foot, and the goalkeeper saw it late, and Smallman thought he'd got it. Everton waited, probed patiently, and when the ball was played for Smallman, he curled it very deliberately. Mahoney suddenly woke up with a start and must have been very relieved to see it go just past. Howard, Cassidy, Natras. Goalkeeper in two minds here, and he makes a brilliant save. Lawson stayed on his line and waited for Gowling to make the header and got across down fast to save well. Buckley. Smallman. Sargent on a break outside him, but that's opened up a gap for Smallman. Oh, against the bar! Great shot from Smallman. Latchford's header and a good save by the keeper. But what a shot from David Smallman. Good running by Sargent. The defender went to cover the fullback's break. Smallman saw the gap, went forward, let fly, and the bar saved Newcastle. The corner from Mahoney's save. Header away by Craig. And that whistle is going again from the crowd. So stupid. Jones. Pull back well. Header away by Bird, or by Natras, I think it was. Good shot by... Oh, Clements! Looks as though an hour and a quarter on the bench has done something for Dave Clements. He comes on, the ball runs loose, and with his left foot, and I suspect his first touch of the game, hammers home an unstoppable shot. What a tremendous goal by...
West Ham, in fact, have sprung something of a surprise. Alan Taylor, their cup final hero, is only the sub. Keith Robson gets the number 7 shirt. Clyde Best comes in at 9. As for Everton, defender Mick Bernard is injured, but they have reserve strength in depth, and although they've got a reputation for being big spenders, 6 of this side began as Everton apprentices. Well, a good number of those players will be on trial today, because about to take his seat in the stand is the England manager Don Revie, and you can only guess at the players who will interest him in particular. My feeling is that Frank Lampard, the West Ham fullback, could well be one of them, and there have been good reports lately too of the Everton defender Mick Lyons. Now we come to the toss-up between the skippers, Roger Kenyon of Everton and Billy Bonds of West Ham. The referee there, incidentally, is Tom Reynolds from Wales, who last weekend he was refereeing a European match in faraway Iceland. Conditions a little more moderate today for him, and indeed for the 31,000 crowd who are now waiting for the game to get underway.
And it's Everton who kick off in a change strip of light tangerine shirts, blue shorts, attacking the goal to our right. West Ham, as usual, of course, in their claret and blue shirts, white shorts. And an infringement there in the opening seconds of the game. Steve Sargent, the man who was injured in a collision there with Clyde Best. Painful knock on the knee. And referee Tom Reynolds bringing the game back for a free kick to Everton. That in the first 10 seconds of the game. The ball back with Big Di Davis, the Welsh international goalkeeper. An unfair challenge there by Gary Jones on Graham Paddon. Free kick to West Ham. Graham Paddon, who scored a brilliant winning goal last week against Wolverhampton. Here's Paddon again. A West Ham throw. Best having a tussle there with Kenyon. Keith Robson. And another West Ham throw. Everybody expecting Everton to play a strong defensive game here today, and at the moment they're being forced back onto defence. Paddon with the throw for West Ham. Little effort, but quite a good long throw, and was then a push on Best. The crowd howling all around, but Tom Reynolds saying no. Kenyon getting it away. Lyons only half getting it away. Lampard now, a thundering shot put straight into the arms of Di Davis. Competing very well in defence in the middle of the field for everything at the moment, Everton. Here's Dobson now for Jones. Lyons made a run on the outside for him. Latchford's on the far side and got up very well indeed, and Telfer almost got there, and in the end Kevin Locke had to turn that away for a corner. A very good jump on the far side by Big Bob Latchford. Telfer almost made it, and a very quick and effective interception by Locke. So Roger Kenyon coming up again. Another corner for Everton. Lyons is up there too, and just skidded off the head of Clyde Best, and Keith Robson keeps it in play. Paddon's made a run down the left. A good ball by Robson. Paddon in full flight. Now Brooking. Lost it and found it again. Holland is right up there too. Good sweeping attack by West Ham this. And Brooking has taken it just a shade too far, and Lyons turned it back to Di Davis. Dobson for Pearson. Here's Latchford. Found Telfer. Now Dobson with a shot, cannoned off Kevin Locke. Oh, and Day had to kick it away, and it was handball. Well, West Ham were in a bit of trouble there, and they were saved really when Day had to fly hack that one away off balance, and it hit Pearson, who was on the ground, on the hand. Well, they're getting good crowds here at West Ham, and that's a good vantage point for those youngsters. McDowell now with the throw. Long one. Best is there. Can Paddon get in? Maybe Lampard can. No, Pearson is there first. But Lampard finds Brooking. He's all right. He's onside. A chance for Lampard. Oh, and he's hit it over. Well, what a miss that was. But at least it looked easy as the Everton defence came forward thinking they were going to catch everybody offside. The linesman kept his flag down and Lampard was free. He tried really an ambitious lob and it was too high. Well, Davis will breathe a bit easier after that. And McDowell plays it back to Dave. Well, the crowd still buzzing with that miss by Lampard. A throw to West Ham. Keith Robson. Davies catching well as Holland came in. Lyons to Buckley. Holland's after him. Played it fairly. Padden jinking, looking for a yard, and finds Billy Bonds. Crowd now getting behind West Ham. Their skipper on the ball. Clyde Best playing a 1-2 with Billy Bonds. Can he get a shot in? Well, it was not handball, said the referee. Tom Reynolds well placed as that ball came in and hit Roger Kenyon. No penalty given. Billy Bonds turning it back. Now it's with Lampard. Holland took something there from Mick Lyons. Some of this Everton tackling at the moment is tough to say the least. Here's Brooking. Oh, a nice little chip by him. Billy Bonds right in. Oh, on earth did Bonds miss that? He arrived late, stealthily and without Everton being aware, as Brooking, with no room at all, crossed that in so delicately, and Bonds made contact, but not quite positively enough, just wide of the far post. But a brilliant piece of improvised football by West Ham. Here's Brooking, the man who made that chance. Buckley. Certainly in terms of a spectacle, I think we need a goal now, probably from West Ham, to force Everton to come out and attack a little more. Jones. Brooking thumping that one away as Jones goes down. Oh, that was a very severe challenge there by Lyons, and Holland is taking it into his own hands, which is a silly thing to do, and Padden is saying, get away from that. That was a terrible challenge there by Lyons, and he'll have to go to the referee. A bad challenge. It certainly won't have impressed Don Revie in the stand, who's here watching this game today, and I would have thought Mick Lyons is one of the people he'll watch. His name will go into the book for that, and Holland might well find that his goes in as well for retaliating. Tom Reynolds having a very strong word as well with the West Ham player. You can understand Holland's frustration, but he really must not take the law into his own hands. Lyons goes into the book, and I think Tom Reynolds is probably saying, yours has got to go in as well, Pat Holland, and there's nothing I can do about it. The name goes into the book. Well, I wonder what Don Revie thought of that. Alan Wade, the coaching chief on the right of the FA, smiles. I don't think there are too many smiles elsewhere. At least it looked like a smile. Robson to Brooking. Best has gone deep. Holland's gone towards the near post. It's Clyde Best going in again, beaten in the air though. Robson with a shot. Oh, no matter than a foot wide. But in fact an offside decision given. Robson hitting that very, very well indeed. But an offside. As the whistle goes for half-time, Mervyn Day then collects up his belongings, and West Ham and their fans pondering how it was, I suppose, that Frank Lampard missed that goal. And one of the reasons they haven't had too many scoring chances, West Ham, is some brilliant defence by Everton, and particularly by their captain and number 5, Roger Kenyon. A lot more to come on the big match this afternoon, but a half-time score then at Upton Park that reads West Ham 0, Everton 0. We'll be right back with the second. Welcome back to Upton Park then, as West Ham get us away, now attacking the goal to our right after a goalless first half. In fact, this game has got quite a pedigree of goals. It finished 3-2 to Everton last season and 4-3 to West Ham the season before, so maybe things are going to brighten up a little bit in the second half. Although in fact Everton's scoring record is less than impressive. They've scored only 2 in their last 5 games. They've conceded only 3 in their last 6. But here's Brooking now, as Robson tries to get a diving header in, and Clements hammers it away again. That's the second ball on the pitch. A blue balloon. Bonds. McDowell. Good skill there by McDowell. Now Brooking, can he get the shot in? Thought about it maybe a little too hard. Decided that he would try just that looping, curling shot. Way off the target. Lampard winning it well in the air. Billy Bonds. Here's Brooking. Bonds has continued his run, but he's taken Everton defenders with him. Robson. Oh, nicely played by Robson for Brooking. Played on for Bonds. And little Buckley was there to beat big Billy Bonds and find Martin Dobson. Gary Jones. Buckley looking for a return pass as well. Jones now taking it on for Everton. And still going on for Everton. He's left McDowell behind him, and Pearson with a shot. Day was already tumbling, and Pearson didn't get the right sort of touch. As Jones left McDowell and turned it in, and Pearson didn't really hit it well, and Day went down to save. Brooking. Holland, a nice touch there for Best. But just watch those tangerine shirts closing in again. Sargent getting it away. Latchford first to react to it. Pearson. Dobson. Buckley. Sargent. Mick Lyons. Hit low towards Pearson. Lampard away. Comes to Clyde Best. Well, they pushed a few people up that time, Everton, and now they might get caught out if Holland can get past Clements. No foul there, said the referee. Play on. And now, can Holland get past him? No, but he's got a corner for West Ham. So Best arriving. Taylor's there. Padden will curl another corner in. Towards McDowell. Taylor again. Played wide for Brooking. Still with Brooking. This could be interesting. No! Oh my goodness, it was a backheeler by Holland that nearly went in. And Lampard now. Curled right across the face of the goal again, but an offside flag was up. Well, that was remarkable after Brooking did so well on that byline and crossed it in, and it came to Pat Holland, and he backheeled it in. Somehow it was scrambled away from that Everton line. Pat Holland so close to giving West Ham the lead. Latchford's header. George Telfer. Jones. A free kick. Probably looked worse than it was. The referee taking the point, though, and having a quick, quiet word with John McDowell. Dobson. Clements. Dobson. Buckley. Ball in play, and Buckley did very well indeed there for Everton. Mick Lyons was right up there. Sargent. Telfer. Buckley. Gary Jones trying his luck on the far side now. Well, that was obstruction, said the referee, and that's why Gary Jones nudged Graham Paddon in the back. So a free kick to Everton. And of course, when a side defends for so long and is pushed back onto defence, they very often sneak out and get a decisive goal. And that's what Gary Jones has done there. 1-0 to Everton. Entirely against the run of the play, and Gary Jones, the man who was fouled in the first place, the free kick came over, slack marking by the West Ham defence, Gary Jones header, past Mervyn Day, West Ham 0, Everton 1. The scorer, Gary Jones, and that only his second goal of the season. Well, as I was saying, it does so often happen that a side gets a little bit lax when it has so much of the game and attacks so often that it can get caught with a sucker punch, and that's what West Ham were caught with there. Their marking was not above reproach in that situation, and now they've got a lot of work to do against a side that has conceded only 3 goals in its last 6 games and has won 4 on 4 of the last 8 visits here to Upton Park. Everybody now back for Everton, bar George Telfer. And West Ham now with something like 26 minutes to get themselves back in the game, and above all, of course, to save their unbeaten league record. Goal kick. Mick Lyons. Now Brookie. Now Paddon. Robson. Flicked on again for Paddon. There's a chance for him, and he didn't take it, and Clements was there to hammer it away. The ball just wouldn't drop for Graham Paddon there. And here he is again. All the tricks over his head. Clyde Best is waiting, and so too is Kenyon. And so too is Lampard. And you sense also now there's a touch of anxiety about West Ham's play coming forward. And one of the most unpopular men in the field, or at least in the stadium, must be the Everton manager, Billy Bingham, there, saying to calm down, and yet he's organised this Everton side so well in defence. Buckley not being thrown off the centre tall by all those shimmies by Trevor Brooking. But a throw to West Ham. Robson. Crossed well. Can Holland get in? Now what's been given? A corner? Yes, a corner. Ball coming off the back of Dave Clements. West Ham crowd again getting behind their team. And Paddon again with this corner for West Ham. Hit low this time. Sargent obligingly putting it back to Paddon. And again Paddon hitting Sargent with it. And Paddon now with another chance. That time it's a shot. Oh! And again West Ham have cracked that ball across that Everton penalty area. And again, just for the want of the tiniest touch, it's gone away. And West Ham get nothing. Bonds finding Lampard, and it's going to be Jim Pearson who's going to go off. He may not know it yet, but the number 4 card is out. Yes, now he will know it, because the card is up for Pearson to see. He goes off, and Ken McNaught is on. Another Everton throw. Taking a long time over these throws. Lyons. A throw to Everton. Alan Taylor's coming down now on towards the touchline. He's going to be coming onto the field as a substitute in a moment. But at the moment, Everton, the crowd have seen him. It's a corner. And he'll be on in a moment. Rob Jenkins there getting out of the bench there to try and attract the referee's attention. It's George Telfer with the corner for Everton. Curled deeper this time towards McNaught. Oh, and headed off the line by Frank Lampard. Great header there by McNaught, and touched on again, and Lampard eventually got it away. Now it's McDowell. Played on for Padden, but not accurately enough. Dave Clements to Bob Latchford. Telfer stopped by McDowell, and away goes Brooking. He's got Best up as well. Brooking going on past that challenge of Kenyon, and he had to hold on to it because he could see that Best was offside. And Kenyon is down and he's injured. Now it's Robson. A chip in there. And finally Mick Lyons got it away. McDowell again, past the injured Kenyon. Lampard on the far side, deliberately handling the ball. And it's Clyde Best who's coming off. And Alan Taylor on. Well, he's got 6 goals this season, and West Ham desperately want number 7 now. Will it come for Brooking? Well, he made it come for him in the end. A little chip through there towards Holland, and Padden taking it on, and Davis out to smother that very well indeed. Nice little touch by Brooking, a great pounce by Padden, and some fairly brave goalkeeping too by Di Davis. So a corner for West Ham, Brooking to take it. This one will swing inside. Too high for them all. And here's Roger Kenyon. McNaught. Brooking. Holland. Well, Pat Holland's been known to get 1 or 2 important late goals in his time. Trying to find Billy Bonds there, but Mick Lyons was there before him. Lampard still injured on the far side. Trying to get himself up. Good play by Locke. And a nice bit of play and a good pass there for Padden. Now for Brooking. A touch on for Billy Bonds. Again, Clements forcing him out towards the touchline. Now will it come for Brooking? Hit straight at Di Davis. John Lyle, the West Ham manager, knows that there's a matter of 2 minutes now between his side and their unbeaten record. Brooking again, good ball run there well by Robson, and now for McDowell. Oh, and he hit it straight at Di Davis. While Robson won that bravely, it was flicked on there into the path of McDowell, and Davis narrowed the angle sufficiently to prevent West Ham getting a last-minute equaliser. Bonds right up there. West Ham have pushed everybody in. Bonds is there, and it's over the top. Well, I suppose when John Lyle saw that one, cannon off the goalkeeper, he knew if he didn't know before that it really wasn't West Ham's day. Here's Jones. No advantage there, but it doesn't matter for Everton in any case, because West Ham's unbeaten league record has gone. Everton have come here, they've defended, and they've scored the killer goal with the sucker punch. Gary Jones, the number 11, was the man who got it with that header in the second half. after West Ham had so much more of the game. A frustrating afternoon for them and for their fans, but victory for Everton.
With 3 defenders, free kick on the edge. Again, a case of, remember, the referee has to make a split-second decision. And he looked right enough. Inches outside the box. Free kick to Leeds. Lorimer. Yes, the deflection! Lorimer's 9th of the season. Watch the deflection from this shot. Driven hard and low. Off the outside of the leg. Lyons. Hamilton. Latchford over the top of him, and Everton looking pretty dangerous now. Good spell of football from Everton. Good cross just over the top of Latchford. Yorth in possession for Leeds. From Buckley, square to Cherry. Frank Gray. There are men in the middle. Kenyon and Mackenzie. Banged away by Lyons. Throw to Leeds United. Quickly taken by Reaney to Yorth. Down for Clark. Clark round his man. 2. When he's in this mood, is as clinical as a surgeon's knife. It was Lyons who fell and gave him his chance, and Clark rarely misses them like that. 2-0. Back header by Latchford, found Telfer. Telfer going well past Frank Gray. And is that a penalty? Could well be, yes. Madeley gave it away. I don't think there's a lot of doubt about this. Telfer's past Gray. Now watch Madeley's tackle. Now the men who have scored from penalties for Everton this season are not on the field. Smallman has hit one and Jones has hit one, and neither of them is playing, so who's going to take it? Dave Clements, by the look of it. The ball has not been returned. Yes, it has now. With 5 minutes before half-time, a penalty to Everton, and in the absence of Smallman and Jones, it's David Clements to take it. The crowd booing, but there looked a pretty clear case for a penalty. David Harvey saying he wasn't ready. David Harvey is saying to the referee he wasn't ready for that. He was picking bits and pieces. Now Harvey doesn't look quite ready, but Clements certainly is. 2-1. Now Mr. Burns going across to have a word with the linesman, who may well take Harvey's side. Yes, Harvey has made his point. David Harvey was picking bits out of the goal mouth when Dave Clements took that, and the linesman interceded on his behalf. So Dave Clements has got to keep a cool head and try to do it again. And as Clements walked up there, Billy Bremner had a word with him, and one wonders whether a war of nerves is going on here. The crowd booing, a retaken penalty, a lot of pressure on the Irish temperament of Dave Clements. But he wins, he got through it. It is 2-1, and there's no argument this time. And that penalty took 2.5 minutes to take. Now Rini. Cherry. Down for Mackenzie. And it's Kenyon. Didn't have enough pace to go behind. Kenyon, Yorath into touch. 1 minute to half-time. Plus, of course, any added time. Sargent. Flick, beautiful flick, beautifully taken from Latchford by Dobson. Madeley. Cherry dropping for Kenyon. Kenyon at his shin scrape. Here's Lorimer. Lorimer getting past Clements. Lorimer goes down. Penalty. Another penalty. This time for Leeds. Clements hustled by Lorimer. Watch again the tackle. Mr. Burns awards his second penalty on the stroke of half-time. Roger Kenyon is, I think, the man down. Let's see what happens here. Now, Mackenzie caught Kenyon. The penalty is about to be taken. Poor Andrew Brown, what an afternoon. Lorimer's the man taking it. 3-1. No goalkeeper in the land could stop those. Clark. Yorath. Got that back from Hamilton. Eddie Gray. Madeley. Rini. That was off Kenyon. Yorath. Clements going for it, so too is Lorimer. Rini to Yorath. Cross up for Clark and Eddie Gray. Brand's dropped it. Oh, what a save! Eddie Gray! Eddie Gray again! This time it's in! It took a long time, but it's Eddie Gray's first goal of the season and Leeds United's fourth of the game. The young goalkeeper here made 2 saves. There's the first one. What's this one? Good save. And Eddie Gray had 2 bites. Mackenzie trying to flick it past side and it's obstructed. Lorimer has Clements and Dobson. Free kick has been awarded. Floated across for Kenyon's header. A corner. Corner to Leeds United, keeping up the pressure. Clark! Really, this young man, Brand, may have been beaten 4 times. No club could wish for better service from a goalkeeper. Clark's header, pinpoint, terrific save. Here to be taken again.
Well, Andrew Brand may feel that he's been thrown into the lion's den this afternoon, but he really has pulled off some terrific saves in this half, and he may be called upon to save another any second now. There, Clark, 5! Brand punched it out the feet of Clark. Clark did the rest. Lorimer mistiming that for Clements. Leeds now having got 5. No need to burst any blood vessels. Darragod. Good flick for Latchford. 2. 5-2. Bob Latchford, who's had such a thin season, gets his 5th goal of the season in the 39th minute. Darragod. Hamilton letting it go through, clipped through for Latchford, and the man who was dropped by Billy Bingham because he couldn't score goals gets.
Lions tripped. Everton's free kick. This is Hamilton not begging Beattie, and Beattie then obstructed him, so it's an indirect free kick. But applause for the new boy. Bernard taking the free kick, and the goalkeeper didn't get it, and Dobson has put it in. Quite simple. Bernard took the free kick quickly, lobbed it in towards the near post. Cooper jumped, got his fingertips to the ball but didn't catch, and Dobson scored his 3rd goal of the season from a yard range. Backheel by Bernard, very cheeky, very effective. Jones, Latchford, Dobson. Nicely angled for Bernard to shoot. Well set up there. Latchford to Dobson, who just opened the angle for Bernard, and Bernard hit it with his right foot. I don't think the goalkeeper would have made it, but it just beat the upright. Jones back on his feet and back in action. And turning Burley inside out. What a good goal. Now who is claiming that? Latchford or Telfer? I think Latchford would like to have it, but the man who really is entitled to the credit is Gary Jones. He turned the full-back George Burley this way and that before eventually crossing, and Telfer got a foot to it, and as it was going over the line, it was run in by Bob Latchford. He's got Dobson on the touchline just ahead of him. This hits into the middle. Kenyon. And towards Hamilton. A foul given against Hamilton for the jump into Beattie. A pull down by Lyons. No doubt that there was a foul. Fouls more or less evenly split. 12 by Ipswich, 10 by Everton. A header away now by Latchford, but not really away, helped on its way out by Kenyon. Burley. Lambert. This kick altogether. Clements. And Lawson hasn't got that. Casual turn back, and there's an easy goal, well taken by Lambert. but such a bad back pass that made it so easy. It looked as though they should have tried for it the first time, but when it was knocked back by Lambert, he just steered it into the far side of the net, and that was a very grievous mistake by Everton. Woods. Johnson forced to go back, but he succeeds in keeping the ball in play. And then gives it to Bernard, who tries a cheeky back heel for Hamilton. Jones. Mills chasing him back and just catching his heels. Darracott will take the free kick. And Lyons will try and get under it. Here's Hamilton. Dobson. What a fine goal by Martin Dobson. The goalkeeper beaten from all of 30 yards. The free kick taken by Darracott. Lyons once again using his height and bustle, nodding it back out, and as it came, Dobson struck it with tremendous accuracy with that right foot into the corner past Cooper. 3-1 they lead, just under half an hour to go. Martin Dobson this afternoon has doubled his goals total for the season. He's now got 4. Beattie, still going. Mills, clever little lob. Johnson! Best move we've seen from Ipswich. Beattie ploughing through, giving it out to Mills, and Mills curling that lovely lob, which Johnson met but couldn't steer into goal. Latchford. It's come through to Bernard. Surely was a foul by Burley. Clements to take the free kick. Latchford's header, and it was deflected, but the goalkeeper's got it, and Lyons putting the shoulder in. Mills. That's a good cross and a good header, and it's in by Johnson. Johnson makes it 3-2, and those curling crosses by Mills eventually pay off. Just sweeping it in with his left foot, and Johnson, a fine header of the ball, rises, nods it in, and on his third visit to Goodison Park, where he started his career, his third visit in Ipswich colours, he scores for the first time. And Mills brought down by a late tackle from Bernard, and very angry about it too. Just as well that Bernard was 5 yards away from him, gave Mills time to cool down. He'll take the free kick. Wide mark there at the back of the penalty area is Beattie. So too is penalty, and also Hunter, and it's Hunter it eventually reaches, but very, very deep. Still Hunter, most ungainly player, but very difficult to dispossess. That's a good chip. Johnson met it. Still bouncing around there, but behind now. Johnson complaining that he was fouled, pushed in the area, and I think he's right too. But again, one of those situations difficult to spot for a referee when so much is happening in the box. So it's 3-2 the scoreline. The attendance 24,601, the lowest for a league gate at Goodison Park this season. Coincidentally, Anfield had their lowest league gate on Tuesday. Darracott, trouble here. Kenyon, and he's lost it. Could see that coming. Johnson could score here. Tremendous interception by Lyons, and it's gone in. The shot was by Gates. 3-3, and a terrible blunder in that Everton defence. They got in such a mess. It started when Kenyon was messing around on the line. Lawson was out of his goal. The ball was bouncing around. Lyons tried to retrieve it as it came out. It ran loose from him. Gates had the shot, and eventually it was deflected into the net.
Roger Davis a little bit too strong. Noticeably, Leighton James has switched to the right side of the park. Peter Daniel just got a touch. Rioch up in the air. That's Hamilton. First hurriedly away. Bernard on. Newton in firmly there. It's a guess for Newton. Charlie George. Worked on for Davis. Nice ball, Gemmell. And Bernard biting sharply in the tackle, quickly on, aiming for Charlie George. Hamilton in little difficulty there with Steve Powell right at his back. Davis, Hurst behind him. And Davis to hit it. Yes, and it will be now. Yes, indeed. Charlie George. 1-0. 3 minutes gone. Staggering blow then. Really staggering blow for Everton. The move starting off with a fine dummy run by Steve Powell to the left side that took 3 Everton men away. Roger Davis spotted his chance. Hit a real beauty that beat Davis off the post. When it came out, Charlie George, the poacher, was there to knock it in. Good curved ball then for George. On for James. Tackle by Darracott. That was one morning, says referee Homewood. Don't do that again. Free kick then. Newton takes it. Davis. Half a touch. Bernard. Archie Gemmell. He really made that ball his. Unlucky. Ball comes back off Hurst. On to Gemmell. Everton throw. Darracott down for Hurst. And that's taken away from Todd by Latchford. Neatly done for Pearson. Yes! Oh, that was so unlucky. Pearson really bent that ball 2 feet in the air. Beat the dive of Bolton and hit the post. That was darned unlucky. Header, Charlie George. Davis. George taking over. Now Rioch. Nice little bit of acceleration then. Being chased by Jones. Still going. Did very well indeed. Just a little bit more air under that cross ball would have found Charlie George, but it was a fine run by Rioch. Pearson down for Latchford. Powell. Visiting Everton fans, and there are plenty of them here, didn't like that pass back from Steve Powell, number 7. George got a touch. James. Rioch taking it on. No, now it's George to try an early one. Charlie George just seeing the whites of the goalposts, and let's go immediately. Hamilton. Dobson. Did remarkably well, did Dobson. Latchford did well. Pearson now has a chance. And it's just wide, and you got the feeling that if Dobson had thrown his leg, he might have guided that in. Beautiful little bit of football, starting off with Dobson, winning it away from 3 Derby men. Good pass to Latchford, nicked on immediately to Pearson. The shot just beating the post, and Dobson just too late to get a touch to it. Well, there's good noise coming up from this crowd. Evenly balanced for Derby and Everton. 31,000 of them here. It's Bernard now. Kenyon. Lyons. Daniel doing the cover. Only back as far as Pearson, though. Latchford. Bernard. Stretched wide for Darricott. Thomas down. Dobson. Pearson couldn't get there. Bernard's going to try it. Oh, what a good shot, too. Everton really putting the fears into these Derby fans now as they hammer away looking for the equaliser. That time it was Bernard whipping at a shot wickedly just wide of the post. That was Lyons. Chased out for Latchford as Todd gets there. Latchford still there. No foul. Jones, it was a bad ball played to him. It had to be early. Knocked out for a throw-in by Thomas. Gary Jones to take it. Ricky Bernard. Early. Hamilton. Neat stuff. Did Bolton get a touch? No, he didn't. Everton then pounding, driving, looking for this equaliser. And it's Derby fans who are quiet, and it's travelling Goodison fans who are making all the noise. There they go. Bernard's going through the middle. And Dobson spotted him. Good cover by Newton. But that was class football. Good running by Bernard. Good vision by Dobson. Good cover by Newton. Davis. Davis still going. They let him go. The shot's on for George. And he scores number 2. Charlie George. 2-0. And Derby fans relieved that the tension is lifted. Rise to greet this man as he strikes his 16th goal of the season. Never scored so many in a season before in any time in football. 17 minutes into the second half. Refereeing by John Homewood, allowing Davis to go on. He knocks it sideways for George, and in off the far post. Well, what a remarkable game this has been. Everton caught cold in 3 minutes. Charlie George picked a ball up from Roger Davis off the post and knocked in the first, and now Charlie George has made it 2-0. George aiming for Davis. Booted away by Lyons. Latchford under this with Todd. Powell helping it on. Hamilton down. Bernard. Pearson. Latchford is all right. Well, that was the moment that Big Bob Latchford might have kept his goal-a-game run going. A goal-a-game run coming here today with 7 in a row. Just about the first half chance that he's had. Bolton coming up quickly to Latchford's feet. Forced the big fella to strike it early, and he scooped it high over the bar. Once the ball goes dead, Everton will make their substitution. Number 10, Jimmy Pearson, they're going to take off. Bernard didn't win it back off George. Kenyon down. Dobson. Todd winning it back. Powell for Daniel. Davis gliding it down for James. James still fighting for it. Just got the toe end of his boot to it. Roger Davis had to make the save. And George charging after this with Lyons, knocking it back. Dobson gets it on well. Latchford, Dobson. Interception by Todd. Gemmell. Running square, and there's nobody right side for him now. Charlie George, what a beautiful ball. Charlie George, the chance of his hat-trick there. Not too sure that he knew exactly what it was he was trying to do at that moment. Newton feeding Gemmell. Now Daniel. George. Hurst really doing an awful lot of good interception, intelligent interception work for Everton. Hamilton cutting away for Everton now, chased by Gemmell. Tackle by Gemmell, giving a free kick, I think. Number 4, Hurst going over there. And they wave big Roger Kenyon to go forward. Hurst's kick. Kenyon got a touch, and Jones got it on, and it's in the back of the net. 2-1. And Gary Jones gets the credit for the goal. 2-1. And there's about 13 minutes to go. The free kick floating in from Hurst. Kenyon got off the ground, might have got just a touch. Derby were at 6s and 7s. Bolton off his line as Jones just got a delicate little touch to it, and it trickles into the...
Masson harrying him. Lyons. Hollins' tackle didn't take, and Lyons, let's go! Tremendous work there, but Gary Jones was taken by surprise by the first save from Phil Parks. Tremendous drive from all of 30 yards. Parks, on the edge of his 6-yard area, did very well to get down and block it with his arm, and Gary Jones following up, couldn't get it in the net. Clement. Clement gets over a good cross, and Lawson makes a good save. Very well cut out from a real winger's cross from fullback Dave Clement. Connolly. No foul, says Mr. Reeves. Masson. Hollins sprinting. It's Thomas on the left. And Bowles in the middle. Thomas set himself for the shot, but it was blocked by McNaught. Bernard. Dobson. Buckley. Cut out by Hollins. Masson. Clement. Givens. Webb. North to David Jones. Bad ball. I think he expected Dobson to run with it. Francis. Ball's trying to play the 1-2, but Lyons clears. Intercepted by Gillard. Now Hamilton. No space. He did well. He's come out left for Dobson. Connolly. Chance to run at McClintock. McClintock blocked the cross. But Connolly gets it back. Dobson. And again Parks is across. Well worked. Setting it up between Connolly and Dobson. And Dobson's shot brilliantly met by Parks. He gets down so fast for such a big man. Corner from Gary Jones. Lyons there meeting it. Got away by Hollins. Back in by Connolly, but well wide. be a lot of thinking going on those benches. That's Steve Burtonshaw on the right there with the moustache, the Everton coach. Bowles, Masson trying to break, stopped by Bernard. Lyons, Bowles, Hamilton, Francis, Thomas. Clement got into a good position and was given a good pass. Nice little chip across too, and there's the goal from Bowles. Stan Bowles finishing off a very simple move. Thomas playing it on for Clement, who'd got a head into a good position. He'd shown us earlier he could cross the ball. That time he played the little low soft dink, and Stan Bowles was running round to tap it into the net. Telfer couldn't get round Gillard. Ian Gillard, number 3 there, capped 3 times for England in the last couple of seasons. The middle from Buckley, tipped over by Parks. Phil Parks has really looked like a goalkeeper in command, dominating that 6-yard area. Goodless, Gary Jones, Goodless. Parks gets in a punch, the header back in, and it somehow reaches Parks. Parks punched it out, Dobson headed it back in, and there was a deflection which took it straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Thomas, Francis, Hollins, Masson and Dobson, Goodless, well played Buckley, Hamilton, Goodless, bounce there and could make the most of it. It's come down to Bernard and he's put it over. Bernard pounds the ground, but he really had a chance there. It was a good cross and an acrobatic leap by Parks, punched it out, but straight to Bernard, and Bernard struck it well over. Telfer. Webb with him, but Telfer gets the crossover, and in goes Dobson. Smothered eventually by Parks, but that was a brilliant bit of acceleration there by Dobson. Good running by Telfer. When he played the low cross, Dobson suddenly found an extra gear, but the goalkeeper got down to smother the shot. A substitution now by Queen's Park Rangers. They are taking off Jerry Francis, or wanting to take him off. The referee hasn't yet called on Mick Leach, the substitute, so Francis stays on. Foul by Bernard on Thomas. And now the substitution can be made. Off goes the Queen's Park Rangers and England skipper, and on comes Mick Leach. Another of the men who played in both of Queen's Park Rangers promotion sides. Now 29 years old. It's Leach, and the free kick to be taken here by Masson or maybe Hollins. They're the 2 men. Hollins is 4. ball back, I would guess, about 8 yards. Masson. And with his first touch of the ball, Leach puts it in the net. He'd been on the field as long as it took Queen's Park Rangers to line up the free kick, and what a happy man. So simple. Don Masson, an expert with the dead ball, just curving it over the wall, and there, stealing in, was Leach. Nobody picking him up, and in it went.